Growing up in Fort William during the 1950s and 60s, there were two sports that attracted the attention of this athlete, both of which he would go on to make a name for himself from the local to the international level. Learning to ski at the age of 10 at Loch Lomond, it wasn't long before he found himself representing the Lake Superior Ski Division, competing at the Canadian Ski Championships at the junior and senior levels. After successfully completing the Canadian Alliance of Ski Instructors courses, he started to coach at the divisional level in 1965, taking it from a part-time voluntary program into a full-time winter program. And many of the graduates of this program went on to enjoy successful careers, including future Crazy Canuck ski coach John Ritchie and two-time Olympian Dave Irwin. His success at developing young skiers in the region led him to a coaching position at the national level. Between 1969 and 72, he served as the head coach of the Canadian women's Can-Am team. Consisting of a circuit of approximately 40 races held throughout North America, he logged close to 20,000 miles in the team's station wagon in one season alone. Considered a development team, by the end of his 4-year tenure, he had established a strong foundation of Canadian talent. Following that season, he accepted the position of assistant program director for the Canadian ski team and moved to Ottawa. And this job entailed the planning and coordinating of training camps and race schedules in South America and Europe, team selections, and helping to develop the program that led to the Crazy Canucks. When recalling Lyn's role with the team during this time, Dave Irwin said that he was dad to him and the other members of the team, setting him in the right direction in his career and teaching him how to be a part of a team and making sure they had what they needed, organized it, and also made it work. One of the most successful eras of women's skiing in Canada occurred during the early 1970s, and it was no small coincidence that the man leading the team between 73 and 76 was the same coach that helped build the foundation for that success heading up the Can-Am program years earlier. Under his guidance, the team enjoyed success at the highest level, claiming a number of top 5 finishes in World Cup races. In 1974, Betsy Clifford claimed a silver in the downhill at the World Championships in Switzerland, and in 1976 he realized every coach's dream when Kathy Kreiner won a gold medal for Canada in the giant slalom at the Innsbruck Games, the only gold medal won by Canada during those Olympics. That victory earned the ski team the pride and admiration of their country and a trip to Ottawa to meet Prime Minister Trudeau. In reflecting upon Lyn's contribution to her success, Kreiner stated that Lyn really gave her the feeling he knew what he was talking about, and she always had a level of trust with him that she never had with other coaches. Stepping down from his national coaching duties following the 1976 season, Lyn returned to where it all began, accepting an offer from Bill Irwin of Loch Lomond to operate the ski shop and ski school, positions he retained until his move to the U.S. in the early 1980s. Throughout that time, he remained active as a technical delegate for the International Ski Federation, overseeing races in Europe and the U.S. The move to the States was a result of his involvement in his other sport of passion, auto racing. Getting his first taste of the sport while watching races during the 1950s at the CLE, he and his friend Lorne Hay went on to pit for Louis Teixeira and Tony Massaro. In 1961, he took over car 87 from Massaro and went on to claim the 1961 Rookie of the Year award from the Lakehead Stock Car Club. The following year, it was car 62, his first super modified he built along with Glenn Kettering, which was completely destroyed in a fire but then rebuilt and back on the track in 1963. In 1966, he moved to the sprint car class with car number 5, and he never looked back, going on to be a dominant force on sprint car tracks for the next quarter of a century. In 1973, he became a regular on the Midwest Sprint Association with North Star Speedway as its regular Sunday night race date, and at tracks across Minnesota, Wisconsin, North Dakota, and in Winnipeg and Thunder Bay. Teaming up with Pat Slavinsky and Murray Robinson of Thunder Bay in 1978, he made the move to the Thunder Bay Invader, and it was in this car that he would race to one of his greatest seasons on the track by becoming the Midwest Sprint Association point champion, a title chase that involved plenty of hard work, skill, and many long hours of traveling. In the early 1980s, he would often make the long trek to Knoxville, Iowa, and it was there in 1980 that a terrible crash almost ended his life and his racing career, but he fought back, and by 1981, he was back at the front of the pack, competing at such races as the World of Outlaws. It was also in 1981 that he helped organize and promote the Barry Kettering Memorial Race at Riverview Raceway, going on to win it and, in a very special moment, received the trophy from his late friend's daughter. Making the move to Indiana in 1983, he continued to race sprint cars for a couple of years before purchasing a McPherson Dirt Champ car. Racing it until 1990, he then retired as a driver but remained active in auto racing for many more years off the track, marking a career in the auto racing industry spanning 6 decades. Whether it was developing world-class champions in the snow or driving to victory on the track, this outstanding athlete and builder has truly left behind his mark in the history books of skiing and auto racing in Northwestern Ontario.